Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Phil Reasons, your host of My Life Behind Bars. Welcome to episode 10. Today, I make it to Prudhoe Bay and find out why I no longer like BP. That's right, British Petroleum. This section of the ride is beautiful. It's incredible. I'm headed up the Brooks Range mountain pass here at Adigan Pass. This is the highest point in Alaska. It's where the Continental Divide is here in Alaska. I think this is the northernmost road that crosses the Continental Divide. So it's been absolutely incredible. It's a Sunday. I feel like I've been at church just looking out and seeing the amazing sights that God has created here. You know, I had an old biker tell me one time I'd rather be on my motorcycle thinking about God than sitting in church thinking about my motorcycle. And I was laughing thinking about that today because it's been a spiritual time here coming up this mountain, and can't wait to get over on the north slope and see what's on the other side. Okay, hey, I just made it up over the Allegan Pass, and it's absolutely beautiful up here. Kind of cold, but amazing ride. So now I'm headed out over the northern slope, and I've heard it gets really bad up there. The road gets rough. It gets a lot colder. I guess I'll find out here in a few minutes what it's all about. So man, how incredible was that? That's the first time I've ever seen musk ox in the wild. Man, those things are massive looking. They look like something from a prehistoric movie. I'd read that basically all the musk ox in Alaska had disappeared by the 1920s, and in the late 1930s they brought 34 animals here from Greenland, and now they have just continued to reproduce and to develop until now they have a healthy herd. I think over 5,000 of them here in Alaska. Absolutely incredible. Well, hey, the day keeps getting colder as I move further north, and I'm about to get out of the Brooks Range here and head out across the northern slope. So here we go. Oh my gosh, I can't really believe this, to be honest with you. This is an incredible part of this journey. Really, I've just been kind of cruising along every day, even if it's been snowing or sleeting or cold or hot, and it really has been no big deal as far as me feeling like I've met my abilities to ride. But this stretch of the ride has really got me thinking about, what am I doing? I mean, it's colder than friggin' Christmas out here. The wind is blowing me sideways, and I've got 4 more hours of this. This is really the first time during this journey that I've questioned my sanity in doing this. I know probably most of you have thought that from the beginning, but this is the only part that's gotten serious. And honestly, for me, this has been like the cherry on top. I'm excited to endure this. It really makes the trip worth it for me. So I'm praying that I'll make it the next 4 hours through this craziness. But hang on, let's go on a ride. Well, hey, I made it to Prudhoe Bay, or at least to Dead Horse. I got some unfortunate news when I got here. Apparently, EP, who has now made it to my #1 worst enemy in the world, they leased the land right along the edge of Prudhoe Bay for their oil pumping explorations. So you have to get a permit and get a background check, and it takes 24 hours, and then you have to sign up for a tour that'll let you go the last few feet out to Prudhoe Bay. Well, unfortunately, they don't start that until May the 29th. That's 4 more days away that I don't have time to stay here. So I made it to where I could see Prudhoe Bay, but technically I couldn't walk out on it. You'll see the video. It's still pretty cool, but BP, I don't like you. Anyway, it's been incredible. It's about 14 degrees here this morning. Snow's blowing around. It's cold as a son of a gun. I've been staying here at the Aurora Hotel. It's actually pretty dang nice. It looks like a battleship leftover, but it's really cool. So this little town at Dead Horse is like an industrial wasteland. But I'm heading out today. I'm going to try to do 500 miles on the Dalton Highway. It's grueling and it's cold. So guy just told me he saw a blonde grizzly bear down the road. I hope I see it. It's the only animal I haven't seen yet that I hope to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing that from a distance, Mom. Not too close. Anyway, let's go on a ride. Okay, so here's that infamous sign. Prudhoe Bay is just right there. Can't get across. It's cold here. I really didn't expect it to be this cold. I'm kind of looking forward to heading south, to be honest. Anyway, I made it. So yeah, I'm going south. Coming with me. Okay, wow. I can't believe that my ride from Key West, Florida, all the way to Prudhoe Bay has come to an end. It's amazing to me, all of the things that I've seen, the people that I've met. It's just been an absolutely life-changing experience. That causes me to think about the subject I want to talk about today, which is the mountaintop experience. You know, more than half of this ride has been through the mountains. I basically shot across the southeast and up through the Midwest to get my way to Colorado to the mountains. I then followed those Rocky Mountains all the way up through Canada into Alaska. So really, most of my ride has been in the mountains, and it really caused me to think a lot about the mountaintop experience, about this experience that I was having on this epic journey. And what I realized was this: life is not about living on the mountaintop. You know, I've gone over several mountain passes, and to be honest with you, the mountain passes are very intense. It's early in the season, so they were all cold, most of them snow covered. And you know what I noticed? One thing in common with mountaintops: there weren't very many people living up there. Most of us are not going to live on the mountaintop, and rightfully so. Most of us shouldn't. It's fairly harsh climate, typically. It's a view that we should all embrace and not be afraid to journey to, but it's an experience that we should just embrace and hold. You know, life is not a mountaintop to mountaintop experience. It's a journey through the valleys with an occasional trek up the mountaintop. You know, one of the things I've noticed along this ride is that mountaintops and valleys have their own sense of beauty. It's the grandeur from the mountaintop. It's the beauty of the flowers and the animals that we typically see down on the plains and in the valleys. Both of them bring value to life. Life is not a long series of mountaintops. It's a walk through the valley with an occasional trek up the mountain for that breath of fresh air, for that time of refilling. And then it's back down the mountain to the real world where we all live. It's time for me to go back to work and to begin to experience life in the normal way. And to be honest with you, I was kind of missing that. I loved this whole journey. It has such a great experience, but by the end, I was really longing for the valley, longing for the time back in my normal life. I think a more healthy way to think about the mountaintop experience is that it's a place of remembrance. It's a place to strengthen us, to strengthen our journey, to strengthen our walk, for us to become clearer about who we are to be and clearer about the relationships that are around us. While we can't live on the mountaintop, we also shouldn't be afraid of it. I think there are so many people that don't have the mountaintop experience because they're afraid. We've talked many times about failure, and they're afraid of failure. They're afraid to step out to accomplish something, to strive towards those mountaintops for fear that they might fail, or I think for fear that they might realize who they are. And for me, this journey was about realization of self. Just like Sir Edmund Hillary said, it's not the mountain we overcome, it's ourself. And you know, for me, after this mountaintop experience, you know, I find myself free to live in deeper love and in a better connection with God and with others that are around me. And I think the significance of the mountaintop experience is that if we're attentive, we'll truly find ourselves. So hey, I want to encourage you today to do two things. One, don't be afraid of the mountaintop experience. Step outside of your comfort zones. Don't worry about a fear of failure. Plan to achieve a mountaintop and go for it. Whatever that means for you. That might not mean a motorcycle ride across the country and ending up at the Arctic Ocean, but whatever that is for you, I encourage you, don't be afraid of that. And two, realize that once you've achieved your mountaintop experience, you have to come back down to the valley. The beauty of the mountaintop is realized by the journey through the valley and the trek up the mountain. So hey, God bless. I hope you've enjoyed this journey. I do have one more video that I'm going to post, just some clips of my journey home, and we'll see some of that in the next episode. God bless. If you like this, hit that like button. If you want to see more of these videos, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in our next episode.